tired, but the bones won't break. It's worse when you're quiet. I see it on your face, and I can tell there's something that you don't want to say. I'm naked and exposed. I really opened.
Singer Forrest Black is back in home territory, touring with James Arthur with a brand new EP and a 2-day stop in the 6 to perform at History. First of all, welcome, Forrest Black.
Thank you for having me.
And I love that you wrote this album for me. We've discovered that, just chatting, that you literally wrote this album for me. There's so much heart in it. There's so much realness in it. So we're going to dive into all of that. But first of all, you already performed in Toronto for the first night last night.
Yeah.
How did the Torontonians show up?
Unreal. Packed house, sold out.
Sold out.
It's crazy.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. It's so nice to come
amazing.
home. And we crossed the border, ran into a bunch of sorries, and then straight to Tim Hortons, and then History. It's been
Ran
amazing.
into a bunch of sorries. I love that. Well, I'm so happy the first night was amazing, and I'm sure tonight's going to be amazing as well. But let's start off by talking about James Arthur. Not too shabby. One of my favorite artists as well.
He's pretty amazing.
How did that all come together that you were going to be actually touring with him?
It feels like a series of little like fateful moments. So one of my co-writers and a really good friend of mine, Steve Solomon, I wrote my big song, If You Love Her With.
Yeah.
And Steve is also a co-writer on one of James's songs.
Amazing.
And so they were working on the new album. And I just put the bug in Steve's ear. I said, hey, if James needs an opener, let me know.
That's it. You just put a little tune in there.
That's it, man.
See? And that's all it takes. Well, I mean, listen, it's a perfect duo because the two of you, I can just imagine, complement each other so much.
Yeah, we kind of look alike, apparently.
You guys do. You guys look like brothers.
That's it.
I love it.
Bros.
People are like, wait, is that still James out there? Is that Forrest? I'm confused. But no, the vibe is so beautiful. But here's the thing. What have you learned even just touring with him in terms of how also to get to the point where you are the headlining person? Because I feel like you're not too far off from that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that for every single artist out there, it's just time.
Yeah.
James has been doing it a long time. I've been doing it a long time. And then now we're here.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be playing to, I think it was like 3,500 people last night is unbelievable. And then through all these shows, it's been wild.
It must be so surreal to be in a room where people are singing your songs back to you.
It's unbelievable.
But like I said, listen, I don't feel like you're too far off from that because just even hearing songs like You Were Mine, such a tearjerker, folks. Before you listen to it, if you have not listened to it, grab a tissue because it is about loss, which is something that we actually don't hear people singing about too often. People are almost scared of grief because they don't know what to say, they don't know how to act, but I love that you're just taking it head on because you wrote that after actually losing a friend in your life.
Yeah, I mean, the whole EP, Undone, there's a second title to it, which is Love and Loss.
Yeah.
And so half the EP are, all the songs about love and how I feel and all the great things that have happened, songs about my wife and whatnot, but the other half are loss, whether it's losing a friendship or losing people that you love. You Were Mine specifically was probably the hardest song on the album to write.
Yeah.
It is a real story about a friend of mine who passed away.
Yeah. Do you get emotional when you sing it, or
yeah,
is it
it's
therapeutic?
unbelievable. It's every night is wild. So something I've been doing on this tour is I've been asking the audience to put a hand up. So everyone in the audience to put their hand up if they've ever lost someone that they love. And the whole audience puts their hands up.
Wow.
And so I stop the show and get people to look around because you're right, it's not something you usually talk about, it's not something you usually see at a concert, but to me, it's something that I feel, it's something that I think everyone feels. So you see all these hands up, and it's a moment, and then people start crying.
Look at my goosies. This is where I realize how hairy I am. Every time I get goosebumps, because that literally gives me so much, so many goosebumps, just thinking that so many people actually put up their hands, and that people who have, experienced grief and loss probably feel so seen in that moment and just so connected. And then they hear your songs, and then it's probably just this emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it's the waterworks, and like every night I've been playing. I once the show's done, I go outside and I tell everyone in the audience I'll be outside and I'll play a couple songs, and then I get everyone to line up, and I spend 2 to 3 hours every night talking to all the fans. I know what it's like to be a fan first, not the band.
Yeah,
So for me, that's
so
what
real. That's also probably a Canadian thing.
Well, I don't know. It's been a crazy ride. I was homeless 5 years ago, so to be living in a car to then being on stages with James Arthur and touring the world and having songs reach, you know, hundreds and hundreds of millions of people. This is
You're
all
so
crazy.
inspiring.
Oh, man.
And I love your love story with your wife. We don't have time to get into it, but you're so inspired with her. And you said that you want to live forever so you can live with her forever. I mean, who says that? Forrest Black, can you find me a man who says that?
Absolutely. Come to my concert. I'll get you to put a hand up if you're single, and then we'll connect you.
Done. Done. I'm coming tonight. This is amazing. Forrest Black, listen, congratulations on all the success. We love your music and have the best time tonight as well. And listen to his EP because it is out now.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Walking through the woods for hours, swimming naked every day. Now I know you're gone away. I dream about you every day. When you're gone, I feel it in my bones. You'll come back again, I know.
Blue Rodeo's frontman Jim Cuddy is back with another solo effort, All the World Fades Away, available to purchase or stream on June the 24th.
And there's a cross-country tour in the works as well. Welcome back to CP24 Breakfast. Jim Cuddy, good to talk to you this morning. Really good to hear your voice again. You know, you've got to get this Canadian, you're kind of the soundtrack to, I think, a lot of Canadian lives here. And you're very humble about it as well, and I appreciate that. But I wonder, where do you continue finding new inspiration from for new music? Because, I mean, we've all been listening to you for, 30-plus years now.
I don't think that any musician that's a songwriter really has trouble finding that. I mean, if you were just to take the things in your life and synthesize them into songs, that's just what we do. I never go in with a plan. I just sit down, start playing, and then all these narratives start filling my head, things that have happened to me, to people around me, things that I've read about. So it's never a problem finding subjects. It's just trying to get it down on paper. Yeah.
It sounds like a fascinating process, and this is your first album in 5 years, is that right?
It takes a long time, because even this one was stopped short because I was starting to make it during the pandemic, and then Greg phoned me and said, we need to make a Blue Rodeo record, so I completely stopped, did the Blue Rodeo record, the tour, the 30th anniversary of 5 days, and then got back at it. So I really just finished it last summer.
Is there still that sense of excitement to share what you have been working on that is so close to you with the world?
Totally. I mean, it's. I think that people closest to me, my family, are maybe a little bored of the debuts, and so it's kind of amazing to, once a song becomes a song, that's the best part. But you're usually alone, and like, I gotta get this to the band or something, and then as it becomes something bigger. The whole thing's a thrill, and then you forget about what it's like to then release a record and then have the world, or your part of the world hear it.
Jim, I'm curious how you strike the balance between having a band and having a solo career and having, a big ambitious tour coming up this coming summer as Jim Cuddy, and also keeping Blue Rodeo like on the front and back burner. How have you managed that? That seems to me quite stressful. It's like you're two characters in one.
Well, Blue Rodeo would never accept themselves being on the back burner. Let's just start that right away.
Yeah.
I think that what happens is that we create a shape for what a Blue Rodeo year is going to look like. And, those guys are old and they need breaks, right?
Sure.
So when there's a break, I put my stuff in there. Obviously, when I have a record, which is only every 5 years, then I'll carve out a couple of months for touring. And but really, it's Blue Rodeo is the mothership, and I just work my stuff around it. Right. And they can rest.
And looking ahead, you have a jam-packed schedule. You have this new album, you have a tour. Anything you're really looking forward to as part of that tour? Because you're going to be exploring many different parts of the country here of the coming weeks.
Everything about it is fun. When we first started touring, we toured as many places as we could, all through the States, around Europe and stuff. Yeah. And then we would come back to Canada and we get offered gigs in Tuktoyaktuk, or up in the north, and St. John's, Newfoundland, and all of those were more fun than anything we were doing.
Yeah.
And now 95% of our schedule is both my schedule and Blue Rodeo's schedule is in parts of Canada, and there's hardly anything we don't look forward to. Blue Rodeo's playing the Canmore Folk Fest this year. I love that folk fest. It's a beautiful thing. I'm going to be in Vancouver. All over St. John. I think we go to Newfoundland twice. We're going way up to the north this time, where we've never been. And so all of that is thrilling. It's exhausting. It's exhausting getting there. I think the Newfoundland gig, I think we fly in and then we have another 4-hour drive. So it's exhausting, but it's always, it's also rejuvenating just to see these places and who comes, and you know, it's fun.
We have such a beautiful country too,
Oh,
right? To
God.
see all those different corners and
Breathtaking.
explore different communities. What a treat.
Yeah, and of course I know you're really looking forward to tomorrow night, the Gordon Lightfoot tribute. Talk to us a little bit about that, because Gordon Lightfoot obviously had a huge influence on you and just music in Canada, period.
Gordon was the greatest,
Yeah.
right? I mean, truly one of the greatest musical heroes the country ever produced. And Gordon became a friend because he's so interested in music. So for me, it started when I think we met him a bunch of times. But then I played Massey Hall, and then the next day the phone rang, and it was Gordon. I'm like, hello? It's Gordon here. It's like, and he said, last night was really good. And then he started asking me questions about last night. I thought, it's Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah. Did you know he was in the show that night?
You know he's at the show. He used to have these 4 seats blocked out
Gotcha.
on the front, stage right, about 7 rows back. So yeah, you look out and you know he's there.
Yeah.
But he does this with artists. He did this with artists. He would see somebody and he would go and then talk to them and ask them about their songs. And he's just super interested right to the end. So anyway, this tribute has got so many great people. Tom Cochrane, Asinabi, William Prince. We're doing Alison Russell. Who else are we doing?
Wow, it's a
Julian
jam-packed
Taylor.
lineup,
I mean, it's a
yeah.
jam-packed
A lot of
lineup.
incredible
Yeah.
people.
So, and they've all picked very beautiful and very unique songs for themselves. I think that his daughter is doing, If You Could Read My Mind.
Oh,
And
nice.
So the whole night is going to be amazing, and it's going to be certainly, off the cuff a little bit, because none of us will have really spent much time together. I mean, our band has been working really hard to know the songs, of
course,
because nobody wants to let Gord down.
Of course. Do you think it'll be a bit emotional too?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be also such hard work. We'll be weeping from tired.
I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal. Listen, it's been great to talk to you, Jim. Good luck with the new album. Good luck with the tour this coming summer. Have a great time tomorrow night at the Gordon Lightfoot Show. It's been a pleasure to have you here on Breakfast this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck
Excellent.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Wait, hold up.
Hey, I got you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Today I saw a baby be born.
I'm so proud of you.
Don't touch me!
Okay.
Oh, man!
I need it.
Clyde.
Alana Glazer's new movie, Babes, follows childhood best friends now in different phases of adulthood, one of them deciding to have a child on her own. Babes delves into the complexities of female friendship, motherhood, independence, a lot of laughter, and Alana joins us live in studio. This movie is so good.
Thank you
I had the
so
privilege to screen it yesterday. Guys, you have to see it. I
Thank
belly
you
laughed.
so much.
And I know I'm not alone in saying that. I mean,
Thank
the reviews
you.
are already starting to come in. I read one that said the bridesmaids of childbearing. What does
Yeah.
that mean to you to see people responding so positively already?
Bridesmaids was definitely one of our our North Star that we kept as our inspiration because of the authenticity between Kristen and Maya. That to see two friends, it was really Bridesmaids and Superbad. That was like our North Star. To see two friends who really love each other and are really fighting grounds those stories and grounds the hard comedy. I love how funny Babes is, and watching it with audiences in theaters, they're missing laughs because they're laughing at, they're missing jokes because they're laughing at the last thing, whatever. But I think the emotion sneaks up on audiences, and that's been even more rewarding.
And what is that feeling like for you to know that some of these jokes and the way you're portraying this character, getting these belly laughs? I mean, it's such a good feeling when people respond so well. But for you, you also do so much comedy. What does that feel like for you?
I mean, it feels like I'm in the pocket. You know what I mean? It's like my purpose, and I feel aligned in it. But also, like, I think the emotional part of this movie has surprised me how rewarding that has been, because leading with comedy for so long, I think laughs are addicting, but it's been nice to see people crying too.
And this film, very honest, right? Really taking a good look at what it's like to go through that journey of motherhood. But it's also resonating with so many parents.
Right.
Did you expect it to hit people this way? Because I think people are watching this and going, oh yeah, I remember that experience. I felt that.
Yeah, that's been interesting to see in older parents whose kids are grown and they're sort of brought back to the days of having babies and toddlers. But yeah, it's funny because it's real. It's not like we're making so much up. We just haven't seen as audiences this story told through women so often before. So I think also to just feel reflected in a film is something that like people are really enjoying in groups.
Yeah, and really touching on that experience because it's so unique for so many people, and there's a lot. I think it's safe to say a lot of people don't talk about, right, going through all of that, and you learn as you go.
Because it's so hard. It's so hard to make a person and to birth them out into the world and then raise them. And I think people don't want to complain, or they're only complaining sort of as like, I don't know. It's sort of the conversation is kind of binary. And I think to have this space, like in the movie Babes, to hold both how hard it is, but how joyous and miraculous the experience is too, and also the miracle of having your friends and your village around you, and
so
having a new kind of family is feels good to hold.
Lastly, I also want to ask you about this idea. I understand it came to you at a time when you were expecting, and part of it was you wanted to share those experiences. Was it fun to kind of go back, maybe not on all of it, of course, but go back and say, oh, remember this with some of your colleagues and friends through that process?
Yeah, I couldn't believe when I was pregnant how unspoken so much of the process had been, and how it's almost branded now, pregnancy and motherhood. And what brand are you? That's kind of what I mean about like a binary conversation. Are you the brand where you're like just loving it and everything's great and you look so beautiful and you're glowing, or are you the brand where it's like talking about the negative side,
the tough stuff?
Which there is so much of, and it is hard to hold both, but it felt very funny to reflect, to have the opportunity to reflect on pregnancy and those early days. It, I think, helped me have a space to laugh at it and just remember how absurd it is.
Yeah, it's so refreshing to have these conversations and see them on the screen like this. So thank you for making the time to come in. We're so looking forward to your movie. And theaters Friday?
Yeah, we were in New York, LA, and Austin last Friday, and this Friday we're all across the U.S. and Canada.
Wonderful. Can't wait for it. Thank you so much, Alana, for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Canada's largest breaking competition is back right here in the city. The Red Bull BC One takes place tonight at the Four Seasons Centre for the Performing Arts. And in town to lend his moral support is the country's most prestigious B-boy, Philip Kim, aka Phil Wizard.
Hello.
And he joins us now in studio. Phil.
Hi.
So nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
I was trying to remember when we last were breaking together.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple years ago.
It has been a couple years now, yes.
Yeah, where I showcased the snail.
Yes.
And stay tuned, because I'll show
Signature.
it again. My signature
Yes,
move.
your signature
How
move.
are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah,
Yes.
It's been a hectic year, but it's been fantastic. And I mean, we have Paris coming up, so I'm super excited for it.
We'll get to Paris in a second. Let's talk about the BC Bull One Canada National Finals tonight. You're not competing, but you're going to be there for moral support.
Yes, the Rebel BC One National Finals is happening. Four Seasons Performance Center, or Center of the Performing Arts. It's going to be an amazing show. I encourage everyone to come out. Rebel was like one of the reasons I started, and for me, it's still the most prestigious one-on-one in the world. So it's going to be super exciting.
What do some of the competitors have to go through to prepare for a competition like this?
Yeah, there's a lot. Like when you're there, especially at a venue like that, there's so much pressure from the judges, from the audience. It's a lot of mental pressure and a lot of physical. It's extremely physically demanding. You have to do about 12 rounds total, so it'll take a lot of preparation for the winner to come out on top.
I can't even imagine. But it also does highlight that breaking is such a popular sport. We can call it a sport now, but it is internationally popular. Yeah, and it's a small community.
Now. Yeah, it's all over the world now, but like you said, it's a small community. It's very tight-knit. Everyone knows each other. There's a lot of love there, and you're going to see that tonight as well.
All right, so let's talk about Paris. I know you're going to represent Canada, yes, and this is the first time we're seeing breaking being featured at the Summer Games. Tell me about what you're doing to prepare for this, and you obviously must be excited.
Yes, I'm very excited. I mean, it's Paris. It's a beautiful city. I love pastries. I'm excited to go there and just enjoy it. But yeah, preparation has been amazing. I've been working closely with my personal trainer, training very consistently, and I have a few more months, and I'm excited to showcase something new in Paris as well.
Is there a lot of pressure on you because many are expecting you to win a medal?
Yeah, I think there is definitely pressure, external, but also internal. But my goal more than anything is just to showcase breaking to the world and do the best that I can.
You are Korean, I'm Korean. I know what it's like to grow with Korean parents. They want you to be a doctor or lawyer.
Yeah.
You showed your passion for breaking very early on. So how are your parents feeling now that you are on Team Canada and you're going to the Summer Games?
They're super excited. Like you said, we both come from Korean backgrounds. In Korea, it's such a big deal to go to the Olympics and represent your country. So for me to do it for Canada, where they, immigrated migrated here. They sacrificed a lot to get here and to bring us here. They're super, super excited. Like my dad's phone background is me, and like it's been incredible.
He's so proud.
Yeah.
Were they supportive right from the beginning, or did they eventually go, okay, we're onto something here and we should allow him to do what he needs to do?
Yeah, they've always been supportive, but like any good parents, they were worried. They were like, we don't know if this is financially stable, if you're able to make a career out of this, but they've always been super supportive since the beginning.
That's fantastic, right? Because you don't always get that, especially with Korean parents, but it's so nice to hear that. You should have brought them in, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
One
So
day.
are they going to travel with you to Paris?
Yeah, they'll be in Paris. It'll be my dad's first time ever seeing me compete live. My mom has seen me one other time, but yeah, my whole family's coming over, so it'll be fun.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how much time we have left here because we want to showcase my snail.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go.
So let's bring in Bill and Lisa. So Wizard. I'll take off the shoes. We're going to create a cipher. Come on in here, guys.
Yeah, it's your turn.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a cipher,
cipher
little
time. We'll
dancer.
blast the music.
Clap.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we got it.
I'm going to hit the floor. So again, it's not the worm, it's the snail.
It's our signature.
Hey.
All right.
Get it, G.
There you go.
Yes.
You got the technique.
Right?
The originality.
Challenge.
You got everything.
Girl,
Oh,
right?
there you go.
Okay,
Oh,
good. Go in.
My turn.
Bill,
Okay, yes.
Don't break the cipher. Bill. Go, Billy. Oh, Billy.
The robot. Okay. Whoa. We got the facial expressions.
Yes. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so
Paris.
much. I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
joining us.
Paris.
And again, the Red Bull BC won national finals tonight here in Toronto.
Excellent.
You guys can all compete.
Awesome. We all
I'll put you guys in the bracket. You guys got the moves.
Seniors division.
We'll just watch you instead. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Oh, great weekend, everyone. You're watching CP24 Breakfast.
Okay, more snail.
Hey, more snail.
There you go.
Hey,
There you go.
Snail.
more snail. More snail. More snail.